everyone, and welcome back to Humble Heart Horsemanship. I am here in the goats shelter. That was Tio, who you just saw, and I am going to share with you guys some really exciting news. We have a brand new addition to the ranch, a rescue edition, if you will, coming on Thursday, which is the day after tomorrow, and that new addition is a boar goat named Frankie. So for those of you guys who don't know, I own two goats. I have Bramble and Tio. I got them when they were kids from a pretty local breeder. She lives about 45 minutes from me, and I've had them almost 2 years now, and they are Nigerian dwarfs. Now since I was like 10, have always been a big goat lover. I love all farm animals, but it's like goats and horses were always my favorite. And we got Bramble and Tio for kind of like two reasons. Number one, of course, when we bought the ranch, I wanted to have animals on it, farm animals that I always wanted to have. I did own two goats back in college that I rescued, rehabbed, and ended up rehoming to a great family. But I got Bramble and Tio with really the goal of having them be pets and also weed eaters, because we have a lot of weeds, especially tumbleweeds, that get really unruly here on our ranch in northeastern Wyoming. So Tio is super affectionate. He's always been a lot more friendly and just acts like he's well socialized I'm looking over because I heard him make a noise. He's a lot more socialized and enjoys just me and being in the company of me. And Bramble, I don't really know what is really up with him, but he is super, super skittish. And even though I spent countless hours holding him and like socializing him when he was a kid, he's still really skittish, and I've tried a lot of things. So I really, like this past month, have been just putting the energy out there and wanting to get a third goat to make a little herd of 3. I wanted to get a medium to large size goat to help eat up the weeds, because with these guys being Nigerian dwarfs, they do eat the weeds, but they just don't eat as much as like a medium to larger size goat would. One thing I strongly believe in is if you are looking to gain an animal is to always try to rescue first, if that makes sense for your particular situation. You know, in regards to like getting a dog or a horse, but it is very dependable on what your experience is with training and being around those animals, as well as what type of rescue animal and what type of experience they have. But I'm a really big advocate of rescuing animals, and so I was just putting the energy out there to find a goat that needed a good home, whether that was like an auction situation or like a private sale situation. First thing that I did was I actually reached out to the breeder of Bramble and Tio, and we're friends on Facebook, but she didn't know of anyone who had a goat that was in need of a good home. So then I made a post on some local like Facebook goat forum. So I was like, I'm not gonna give up on the idea of finding a goat that needs a good home, that is a rescue in some way. And so I made this post, and a bunch of people messaged me. Most of them honestly were people trying to sell me baby goats, which is fine, and they're so cute, but I already had the experience of having baby goats with these guys about 2 years ago, and I really wanted to find like even an older goat that was in need of a good home. So a few people reached out and had goats that weren't a good fit because they were older and a buck, which means they're not castrated, or there was other things going on. And then this lady reached out to me who actually shows goats, and they breed them and show them, and she told me about a Bordeaux named Frankie. She described Frankie as a super sweet goat who is about 3 years old, and she's a boar, which is my favorite breed. When I was in college, I actually rescued 2 goats from slaughter, and I rehabbed them. One of them was a boar goat named Tiny, and he was the runt, and he was covered in lice and had so many health conditions and problems. It was so skinny when I first got him, and I ended up rehabbing him, having him as a pet for a while, and then rehoming him into a really great family who had this beautiful, big, like picturesque farm. But I've always loved boar goats because to me, I think they're so beautiful and just so unique looking. I love their size and their personalities. Like most of the ones I've met are just so bold and hilarious. I was really hoping to get a boar goat, And I was excited because boar goats tend to be really good weed eating goats. Like they actually really prefer to eat weeds, sometimes even over grass. So as she told me more about this doe, she basically told me that Frankie was bred and that she had babies not that long ago, I believe this winter. But she developed mastitis, which was really severe, and she said it took a ton out of her to be bred and to be a mama, and that when they tried to breed her again, she wouldn't take. And so they really didn't want to take her to the sale auction because they were concerned that something might happen to her or someone might purchase her who wanted to breed her and then have issues with that and then maybe slaughter her or her end up in a poor situation. So I gave this lady a ton of information about the ranch and what I do here and a ton of pictures. So Frankie's owner sent me a ton of pictures of her and I fell in love after seeing these adorable pictures of her, and I was like, this could not be a better situation. Like, I'm looking for a goat exactly like her. I love her breed. She's got a story and she needs help just having a safe place to land and have a forever home. And she was so cute in these pictures. Like, there was a picture of Frankie with like her son, and it was so cute. And so I was just like really excited. Now she describes Frankie as a little bit on the skittish side. Apparently when they first got her, you could barely even touch her, but now she's pretty easy to move from like pen to pen. And she loves to be brushed like with a horse brush. So I thought that was really cute. So long story short, what's happening is Frankie is gonna be delivered on Thursday. Today is Tuesday. That's the day after tomorrow. So you're gonna head into town with me and I'm gonna show you all the things that I picked up at the feed store. Lots of fun stuff and also some new fencing so that I can create an even safer and even better environment for Frankie that will be here, and I'm really excited to meet her. I've never in my life bought, I almost fell over. One second. I've never in my life bought a goat just like off Facebook Messenger, and like have never seen this goat in person or anything, but her owners that have her now seem like really good people, and they're really excited because they have been looking for a really good home for Frankie for quite some time, and so they're super excited for her to be here at the ranch, and I'm just so excited to meet her. Can't even make this up, you guys. I just realized that the two cars up front are also trucks, so basically it's just an entire line of trucks only, and I'm also in a truck. I got my iced shaken espresso with oat milk, and now I will be fueled to continue the shopping journey. Alright, next stop, CBH Co-op, which is a great affordable feed store out here. I'm at the feed store right now, and I came here for collars when I tethered the goats because both of mine broke. And then I also need like a really large bucket to use as a water trough because I only have a small bucket just for Bramble and Tio. But I just found these two collars and they're on sale. This one right here with the pattern is $2, and then this super bright one is $3. That's a really good price, and they seem pretty sturdy too, so happy I found those because my other two collars I had broke. So now let's find a bucket. It looks like some of the bigger buckets that I'm kind of looking for are up on the tallest shelf conveniently, but not the kind of fun color that I want to pick out, so I don't see any more either. Lots of small buckets. I'm also going to grab one of these extra large syringes because I have to worm the goats pretty soon, and I can't find my big drench that I have somewhere, so I'm going to grab one of these because they're pretty cheap. They didn't have the Safeguard dewormer last time, but they have it this time, so I'm going to grab this because this is what I'm going to worm the goats with. Alright, now I am on my way to Tractor Supply to find that like oversized bucket. I like to get a fun color. I like to have bright, fun colors. Like, I feel like that's more fun and exciting than just having like a boring green or like a black bucket. I don't know. I like color. So I'm gonna go to Tractor Supply and see if they have one that I'm looking for. absolutely no need for one of these, but I think they're hilarious. Alright, we are outside now and I'm looking at some mesh fencing. So basically there's one single fence line in the large dry lot where the goats are kept that is falling down, and it's horse safe mesh fencing. So these like squares are small enough so a horse's hoof couldn't get caught in them. But the problem is that the horses pushed it down so much by leaning over it last year that it's pretty much so bent you can barely replace it. So I'm trying to see if I can get some more mesh fencing that's going to be goat safe for the goats without having to worry about spending too much money, because these are really expensive. They're $239 for like the farm animal non-climb horse fencing. But then over here I found this stuff, and this stuff, you guys, is called welded utility fabric, and I've dealt with this stuff before. It works really great for keeping in goats, and I like that the squares here are small enough so I don't have to worry about them getting their head stuck in there. It's still really sturdy, and it's like only $120, so that's a lot more affordable. So I'm probably going to grab one of these and just tear down that fence line that's falling down, because it would take a lot of time to replace it, and this is going to look a lot nicer too, and it's a tax deduction because it's farm equipment for fencing.
If you want to just take the tag off there.
Oh yeah?
If I can open up that gate and you can just pull up over
that
here.
That would be excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
It's no problem.
Sometimes they're kind of awkward to grab, you know? Yeah. That was successful. The guy just had me back up to the loading zone and he put the mesh fencing into the back of the truck. It's all loaded up, ready to go home. And I'm really excited because it was half the price to get that kind of, I guess they were calling it like fabric welded wire, than it was to get the kind that was like farm animal horse grade. So it was like literally half the price. So really happy with that. And now I'm going to head on home. Guys, think of the new trough. The one on the right is Bramble. This is Tio. Hi, babies. He thought about jumping and he's like, oh wait, I'm not supposed to do that. They are shedding out their winter coats to get in their summer coats. So that's why his hair is all patchy. Hi, sweet Tio. So cute. What do you guys think of the new trough? Seems like it works pretty well. Tio. Oh, down. Good boy. Good down. Good boy. I know you just want to say hi. Hey, Bramble. All right, let's go ahead and grab Tio and go tether him out so he can eat some weeds. And then we'll see if we can catch Bramble today. Ready, Tio? Are you ready to go outside and go eat some weeds? You're okay. There you go. Good boy. The new collar looks cute on him, guys. He looks good in green and blue. You ready to eat some weeds? Wondering why Bramble has a ginormous clump of alfalfa in his mouth. It's because it's pretty much the only treat that I can give him that will allow me to get him still enough in the corner to put a leash on him. He looks really good in the lime green color. Alright, you guys, so here is the before of this fence line. As you can see, it has a top strand of barbed wire, and you see that the mesh right there is all folded and pushed down. It's because we had a super pushy gelding in here who kept trying to reach over and get the grass, as animals want to do. And the previous owner did not install the mesh fencing on the inside of the T-post. So if you're installing fencing, you have to consider whether you're trying to keep animals in versus trying to keep animals out, because there's different there's different scenarios for where you're going to place the mesh fencing, on the inside or outside. If you're trying to keep animals in, you want to keep the mesh fencing to the inside, not to the outside, because if it's to the inside, it's going to make it harder for them to push down the fencing and keep them in better. But the previous owner installed this improperly, and she basically put the mesh to the outside, making it easier for the horses to destroy it. So it's all folded like right there. And along the other fence lines, I was able to kind of figure those folds out by just using my hands with some good gloves to pull it back into place. But that's not going to do for this fence line. It's pretty destroyed, which is why I'm excited to put some new fencing in here. Like, this is really, really damaged. So this is the before. Gonna make the first cut to get this ugly fence line down. Another thing I just decided I'm gonna do is I'm going to take these T-posts out of the ground, because you see how these little nodules are facing out towards the parking lot. I want them to actually face the inside of the dry lot, so when I put the mesh fencing up against it, I can put the little clips on it correctly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use a car jack to remove these out of the ground, and my grandpa actually taught me that trick. Thank you, Grandpa Ruff. I really appreciate it, because it's an amazing trick. All you need is a car jack and a really good quality wrench, and you can get these things out of the ground really easily and not have to kill your back doing it. And I actually realized that the ground's not really frozen anymore, and it has just enough moisture where getting them out of the ground won't be too difficult. I'm going to show you guys real quickly how the car jack trick works with removing T-posts. So what I have here is a wrench that is tightened like just below one of those little nodules, and it's pretty tight on there, and you need a really heavy-duty hardcore wrench. You can't use like a cheap one because it will break. And then you get your car jack underneath of there like that, and then you put some leverage on it by pumping it up. It's hard to see because I'm moving, but the T-post is slowly being pulled out of the ground. And then you release it, and then we're gonna pick a new spot for the wrench to go tighten it and do the same process again till the T-post is pulled out of the ground entirely. It's so fun to see how well this works though. I know the camera's like super jiggly, but it's coming out of the ground. Here it comes. Oh, come on. Here it comes. Woohoo! So I don't know about you guys, but it seems like almost every time I come out here to work on a project, outside, the sky turns dark, and now I hear a little bit of some thunder. So I may end up finishing this project tomorrow, which is fine. But it's turning really dark kind of fast. The goats are all looking at the super dark clouds that are coming over. It's definitely gonna start raining, and I think a thunderstorm is coming. And at least I got one of the 2 posts done for today. Maybe the rain will soften the soil for me to make this easier. It's probably pretty hard to hear me because it's super windy, but I went inside, got something to eat, thought that the storm was gonna happen, got a severe like thunderstorm and hail warning on my phone, but it's like an hour later and it's just cloudy and windy, so I don't know if we just missed it or something, but I'm back out here again. I got a jacket on and I'm working on the fence line still. Tio, baby Titi, what you doing? Are you the king of the doghouse? Tio, what are you do? Tio, are you playing with the meshing? What are you doing, Tio? Oh my god, oh, please don't eat that. It's not edible. Also, for those of you who are worried to see their collars on, I'm gonna take them off. I just had to run them in here because they cannot go back out to the dry lot because one side of it is completely open with no fencing. And then I thought we were gonna have a huge thunderstorm and hailstorm, but I'm gonna take their collars off because I never have them wear them unless they are tethered, and I'm always supervising them when they're tethered. So you guys, I just snipped off the last remaining piece that made this fence line connected as a fence line. So look, it's all on the ground. It's down. Now we get to put up nice new stuff that's gonna work way better. All right, well, that's enough work for today. I am so tired. That was kind of a lot of arm work after having gone to town and running all those errands and stuff. So I'm gonna head inside, but tomorrow I'm gonna work on it some more. So I'll see you tomorrow.